Let's talk about the 6 best side hustles you can have while you're in college. Now, the side hustles I'm going to talk about today are not all those basic things all of the other YouTubers talk about, like taking surveys, tutoring people, or driving for Uber. You can just Google that, and you know I'm not here to waste your time. Every single side hustle I'm about to talk about is something either I've personally done or know people close to me who've done it, so I know they work. These side hustles allowed me to pay for amazing spring break trips every single year and have extra money to invest in the stock market. So let's get into it. Hey everybody, my name is Hisham Khan and welcome to Income Over Outcome, where I give you college, career, and of course, personal finance tips. Making money in college can be tough because it's really hard to balance classes with a job, and it's hard to find something that will actually pay you a decent amount. Because of that, a lot of college kids just rely on their parents or stay broke. But that's no fun. You should have extra money to spend in ways that you want. There are actually a bunch of ways to make money while you're in school, and I'm going to share 6 of my favorites with you today because these are flexible and also pay you a good amount. If you enjoy this video, be sure to hit that like button and let me know if you want a part 2, because there's way more side hustles out there. The first side hustle is to participate in experiments. Not many people know this, but colleges will actually pay you to be studied on for their research. My school was always looking for students to be studied on, but they never actually openly advertised this because they knew if they did, a bunch of people would flock towards it. I only found out because a friend told me. I honestly liked doing these because they weren't hard at all, they didn't take too long, like an hour max, and I was guaranteed to make some money. I remember one time I did this psych experiment where they tried to figure out what candy I liked just by tracking my eyes, and I got paid 20 bucks for 30 minutes of just looking at a screen, plus the candy, which turned out to be a Twix bar. I've also taken pretty decent naps during experiments for like 20 minutes because I had to wait for everyone else to finish, and I finished early. When I realized I got paid to nap, I felt like Jeff Bezos. The pay depended on the actual experiment. Some experiments would pay you a flat fee, and for others it would depend on your performance in that experiment. But overall, I averaged like 25 bucks an hour just doing these in my free time. Experiments are a great way to earn a decent amount of cash with minimal effort, and college is probably one of the few times you're going to be able to do this. At my school, the most common departments to pay us for studies were the psych department and econ department, but most schools I know of have some sort of research program similar to this, so definitely look into it. Number 2 is selling notes. Now this does take a lot more effort than taking naps during experiments, which is why I was never capable of doing this, but I do know people who sold their notes and they made bank. Now, I don't want to generalize and say most, but definitely a lot of college kids, like me, skip class. Freshman year, I had a problem waking up for my 1:00 p.m. class on time. Now that I think about it, that's really sad, but that's a story for another day. Anyway, you get the point. More people skip class than you would think, and when people actually go to class, they really don't pay a whole lot of attention and forget about taking good notes. When finals season rolls around, a lot of kids realize they have no idea what happened the whole entire semester, and now they don't have enough time to go through the entire textbook. What they need is a summary of everything important discussed in that class, and that's where you come in. All you have to do is actually be a good student that goes to every single class and takes notes. When final season comes around, all you have to do is put all of your notes into a PDF and then post on your school's Facebook group something like, hey, I'm selling this semester's notes for basket weaving 301. If interested, DM me. And just watch all those messages come in. People are more than willing to pay for something that can save their grade. Now, I did go to a pretty big school, so this worked out really well because there were always people willing to buy, and the bigger the class, the better. If you take notes for a huge gen ed class like chem or bio, and at my school thousands of people took them every single semester, then you can make a ton of money. I know a kid who charged just 20 bucks for his notes, which is a really reasonable amount for any college kids to pay, and he made thousands of dollars. I mean, think about it. If just 10 people ask him to send a PDF over, that's over 200 bucks. And you could sell the same notes year after year because honestly, the content in classes doesn't change that much. If you go to a small school, it might be a bit harder to sell your notes, but it's definitely worth a shot. Worst case scenario, you ace your class because you took some amazing notes. If you're someone who already takes good notes, then definitely try selling them. Just make sure they're actually valuable because you don't want to be that person scamming people. The third and one of the most lucrative things on this list is participating in competitions. Most colleges have a bunch of different competitions where teams work together to solve problems, and the top placing teams get prizes, which is usually a lot of money. Now, when most people see something like this, they immediately don't do it because they think it's going to be too hard and too competitive. And honestly, I used to think the same. But because of that, in some of these competitions, there's not a whole bunch of people participating. So your chances of actually winning are not that low. One group of my friends actually put together a PowerPoint in one night and presented it at one of these competitions. They ended up getting second place, and each of them got like $1,000. You don't need to be super smart or have a specific major to participate in one of these. All you need is critical thinking skills, and I'm sure you can get a group of people that have those. Even if you don't get the money, you'll still have something to help you stand out on your resume. So really, it's a win-win in my eyes. Number 4 is probably my most favorite on this list, solely because it involves free food, and that's being a mystery eater. Now, you have to be careful because there are a lot of mystery shopping scams out there, but there's also a handful of sites that are totally legit. Basically, what mystery shopping is that a company will let you eat or shop for free in their store for a review of how the service or food was. It's a really good way for big companies to figure out how they can improve. Usually they'll give you a maximum amount you can spend and then reimburse you anything up to that amount. Sometimes you can profit off of it, but usually you don't. The main thing is that you get to eat for free, so you're saving money. I've heard of people doing this all the time to get multiple free meals a week. One of my favorite websites to do this is marketforce.com, but there's a bunch of options. The bigger the city you live in, the more options you'll have, and usually you can choose from a wide range of things, from real restaurants to fast food places to coffee shops. Let me know if you think you would ever give mystery eating a shot. I think it's a cool way to save money while still going out with your friends. Number 5 is a tiny bit basic, but it worked out well for a few of my friends, so I figured I would mention it, and that's dog walking. A lot of my friends who are absolutely in love with dogs decided to take dog walking up as a side hustle in college, and I was surprised at how much money they actually made off of this. Of course, how much money you make really depends on where exactly you go to school. If your college is in a big city or a place where real families and adults live, it'll be way easier to find dogs to walk. You can start your own thing and just advertise yourself, or use an app like Wag or Rover to connect you with people who need their dogs walked. I learned that some people are willing to pay a lot of money for you to walk their dogs, and who wouldn't love to get paid to hang out with dogs all day? Last but most definitely not least, we have starting your own business. Personally, I think college is the best time to experiment with businesses because you have access to so many different resources and you can take risks. The key is to find something you enjoy doing and then learn to market it so people are willing to pay for it. I knew a kid who absolutely loved baking, so he would just make cakes for people in his dorm, just for fun. But as with anything in college, word spreads really quick, and before you knew it, he had people asking him to make cakes for him, and he would charge them $50 a piece. But if you don't have the talent of the cake boss, like me, then you can do something more simple, like learn to design WordPress websites and make websites for other people. Any idea can make you money if you have the right strategy. Some of the biggest companies out there today, like Facebook, were started in dorm rooms. So I encourage you to use college as a time to build something. I'm thinking about making a video on the best on-campus jobs you can get, but I'm not really sure if you would be interested in that. So if you are, definitely let me know. As always, be sure to hit that notification bell or else you won't know the next time I post, which is usually on Tuesdays and Fridays. But until then, take care.